When you get the Amex Platinum card in the mail, there's a checklist worth of things you'd want to sign up for. Some of these you might want to start using this weekend, and in fact, you might want to use it right away, while other ones you might want to know about in order to plan around for future trips. The entire idea though is that we get value and we win. You'd be surprised how many people leave money on the table because they don't know certain features exist. With that said, let's look at the 17 things you need to do once you get the Platinum card. Big favor, hit the like button to help with the algorithm. If you know someone that might benefit, then share this with them. The first thing I'd sign up for is Party Pass. So it might be a bit confusing if you're new, but there are some lounges you can get into with the Platinum card. Other ones are part of Party Pass. You can request this by logging in and pressing the rewards and benefits button. From here, we're going to see most of the benefits, and this is pretty much one of the hubs that you want to know about. What we're looking for is the Amex Global Lounge Collection. From there, there's a button to enroll in Party Pass Select on the top right. Once you sign up, you're going to see a member number on the benefit. With this, you should be able to add it to the Party Pass app and start accessing lounges. The physical card does take 4 to 6 weeks before arriving. Once you get the physical card, I'd still bring it with you or toss it into your travel bag just to de-risk. Maybe it's just me, but especially abroad in Asia, I've run into a lot of lounges that just want to see the card. Maybe I'm lucky, but I've also run into some instances where they need to swipe the card because they lost internet access. Number 2, more of a long-term one, but check lounges for where you typically fly. So we have Party Pass covered, but with the Platinum card, you have a lot of other options. One of the really big one is going to be Centurion lounges. And this is currently in Atlanta, Charlotte, Dallas, Denver, Houston, Vegas, LA, Miami, New York, Philly, Phoenix, SF, Seattle, and DC. It pretty much means that if you're flying out of a major US city, then you're probably going to be covered. In fact, of the top 15 airports in the US in terms of volume, in terms of traffic, there's only a few that are missing: Chicago, Orlando, and Newark. My understanding is that Chicago has a lot of red tape, so probably not happening soon, but Newark is getting one. It was announced back in 2023, and it is coming 2026. In addition, there also are a lot of international options: Hong Kong, London, Stockholm, Mumbai, Delhi, Buenos Aires, Sao Paulo, Melbourne, Mexico City, Monterrey, and Sydney. So those are Centurion lounges, but beyond that, Amex has a lot of other partnerships. One of the best examples is Escape lounges, which are pretty popular among mid-sized cities. One of my favorite ones is Delta because you have access to Delta Sky Clubs when flying Delta. Same idea of Lufthansa, you get access when flying within their group. Lastly, we have Plaza Premium, and some of these are part of Party Pass, but still good for the ones that are not. If you're a traveler and you like lounge access, then the Platinum card does a lot of heavy lifting. On a side note, if you don't have the Platinum card yet and you're considering it, then I would strongly check Card Match to see if you have an elevated offer. We have a blog post on this, and it should pop up if you Google Card Match Ask Sebi. The idea though is that people are getting targeted for 150k points or up as an intro bonus. I'll also link it down below as well, but if you're going for the card, you might as well get an elevated bonus. Number 3 is a sign up for elite status. So the Platinum card gets you 2 statuses just by holding the card. You do need to enroll in both separately, but pretty easy. You enter your Hilton and your Marriott number and wait a bit and good to go. The first one's Hilton Gold, and you normally get this by staying 40 nights per year, which is a ton. The main draws of Hilton Gold are going to be space available upgrades and also daily food and beverage credit or continental breakfast, depending on where you are. If you are traveling in the US, I'd temper your expectations. Probably a higher floor, maybe a better view, and maybe a corner room. In Europe, and especially Asia, it does tend to be a lot better. So I've gone suites and just other interesting upgrades by having status. For example, when we were in Kyoto, we went to the LXR, which is part of the Hilton group, and we got upgraded to an onsen room, so there was an onsen built into the room. Also, most international Hiltons, for whatever reason, have very solid breakfast spreads. Ones I'd happily pay $25 to $30 for in the Bay Area. All you can eat smoked salmon is pretty good in my book. The Platinum card also gets you Marriott Gold status, and the main draws are going to be 2 p.m. late checkout when available, and also room upgrades. Note that by the terms, suites are for Platinum status and up, and not Gold. Again, Asia tends to be a lot better with this because they're more service oriented and they just care more. Also a lot less elite members. Right now I have Platinum status, but even when I had Gold, there were times we got upgraded to suites. Like Hilton, if you don't travel to Asia, if you don't travel out of the US, then I'd temper your expectations. One of the reasons why you might want to sign up for this sooner rather than later is because it can take time. After signing up and registering, it can take from a day to maybe 3 months. And technically by the terms, it is 8 to 12 weeks. So you might as well check it off the to-do list. One big thing to note is that you're being gifted status, but not the nights associated with it. Okay, so what does that mean? So for Hilton, you're getting gold status, but you're not getting 40 nights. You're getting 0 nights. You're pretty much Anakin.
You are on this council, but we do not grant you the rank of master. What?
Same idea for Marriott. You have gold status, but you don't have the 25 nights you would typically need for gold status. Probably not a factor for most people, but if you are going for those higher statuses or if you want them, then you're kind of out of luck. You're starting at 0. If you are looking for the higher statuses, I'd probably just get other cards. So Amex Hilton Aspire gets you Diamond, and Amex Bonvoy Brilliant gets you Platinum status. The main draw of Diamond is Executive Lounge access. For US ones, it tends to be free soda and maybe chips, and once in Asia, you have full-on spreads, and they're actually worth visiting. I know it might be weird that I keep mentioning this, but it's a huge and stark contrast. Main draw of Bonvoy Platinum is 4 p.m. late checkout when available, welcome gift that's not just points, but breakfast, which is generally better, and also upgrades, potentially 2 suites. For most people, those are going to be the sweet spots, especially if the cards make sense and you get value from them. If you are someone that wants to learn about cards, whether the Platinum or something else entirely, and you want to support the channel, we do have links on our website, asksebi.com, and also down below in the description box. Make sure the links are competitive, but otherwise, it is a huge way to support the channel, so thank you in advance. Number 4 is to add the Platinum card to your Uber account. This one's super straightforward, but once you add the card number to your account, you're going to get a credit every month and even immediately afterwards. You can end up using this for Uber rides or also Uber Eats, and if you are doing Eats, I'd recommend doing pickup to make it more affordable. It depends on where you live, but there probably are some options that you either drive by or you can walk to that you like anyways that are going to be relatively affordable for pickup. From January to November, you're going to get $15 per month. For December, it's the same $15, but also a $20 bonus for a total of $35. Starting November 8th, 2024, you'll need to use an Amex card as the payment method in order to use the Uber credit from the Platinum and Gold cards. Let's say you have a $15 credit for November and you're booking a $20 ride. You have to select an Amex card as the payment option to pay the remaining $5 for the credit to be used. Note that this can be any Amex card and does not need to be the card with the credit. If you do a lot of Uber spend and you're focused on the multipliers, you can always switch back to, let's say, the Chase Sapphire Reserve after using the credit. Number 5, I'd add the card to your Delta app or Delta profile. So we covered lounges and how you have access to Delta Sky Clubs when flying Delta. Normally, you show your ticket and show your card and you can get in. Alternatively, if you link it to the app, then you can just scan the QR code and you're good to go. For me, it definitely speeds up the process, and I find that a lot of people that do get stuck in the front tend to either have to find their card or they have the Delta Platinum card and they're arguing that it's a Platinum and they should get in, even though it's technically not a benefit of the card. Number 6 is to use the Platinum card to pay for potentially some digital entertainment options. This one and a lot of other ones are ones you need to enroll in, so make sure and double check. Otherwise, if you just move your card on this, it's not going to work. As annoying as it is, you do need to enroll. So you're getting up to $20 in statement credits per month, and it's up to $240 per year. Lots of options here, including Disney+, Hulu, Peacock, ESPN+, New York Times, and Wall Street Journal. So I have this set on Disney+, and good way to get it covered. Number 7 is the Airline Fee Credit. This is one of the more interesting ones. So a few things. Number 1, you have to select an airline. And number 2, the idea is that you can use the card to cover some of the fees. Before selecting, watch the rest of this. It's only supposed to help cover incidentals like checked bags and maybe upgrades. Some people have had success with a lot of different things, and I'm guessing we will see some data points in the comments down below. If you are looking for inspiration, I'd recommend checking Flyer Talk. So search Flyer Talk AA Incidental Credit, and you're going to see a giant thread with things that have and haven't worked. So for example, American Club membership and passes are fine, same with food and a lot of other things such as upgrades and baggage. On the right hand side, you'll see some that don't work like gift cards and other ones that are 50-50. So this is the list for American, but the ones for, let's say, United can be completely different, and certain other things that don't work here can work there. I'm trying pretty hard not to overly spoon feed here. For most people, the easiest ones are going to be United and Southwest, and maybe Delta. But yeah, if you like basketball, some of these are going to be bank shots, and you're going to feel like Tim Duncan. Reminder that things can change, and sometimes you might want to be the data point that you want to see. Otherwise, check Flyer Talk and the comments down below and search by most recent. Number 8 is the hotel credit. So this is one you want to be aware of and maybe consider for your next vacation. It is a bit annoying, but it's manageable. So it's up to $200 per year, and it's for bookings through their online travel portal, either Fine Hotels and Resorts or the Hotel Collection. Note that for Fine Hotels and Resorts, FHR, the minimum stay is 1 night. For Hotel Collection or HC or THC, the minimum is 2 nights. Hotel Collection tends to be more mid-level and affordable. FHR, on the other hand, are going to be the 5-star hotels and the best of the best. So for example, think Rosewood, Amman, Four Seasons, St. Regis, Ritz-Carltons, and a lot of kind of 1 to 3 Michelin key hotels. If you are looking for a comparison of what those might look like, then check out Mandy Rome's, so Mandy's travel channel. We just got back from Hotel de Mitsui and the Ritz-Carlton when we were in Kyoto, and those are 3 and 1 Michelin key hotels, respectively. Also, both of which are under Fine Hotels and Resorts. Last month, we were in Hawaii, and we ended up going to Prince Hotels, and that's under the Hotel Collection. So it depends on your budget, where you go, and how you like to travel, but if you do travel, which you probably do, then it's pretty easy to use. And to be fair, I've been using FHR and an advocate for it before there was even a hotel credit. But yeah, worth checking for your next trip, and there's a lot of ways to get value, especially for places like Vegas, and if you're willing to hop around. Another one to keep in mind is Saks. So you get up to $50, and it's every half year. So up to $50 for January to June, and up to $50 for July to December. For me, I generally give the card to Mandy because there's something that she wants to buy anyways, and it works out. Some ideas, and maybe not for you necessarily, but maybe for a player too, would be mascara, containers and house and kitchen stuff, cologne or perfume, fancy soaps, and also skincare stuff. So for example, if you're planning to buy cologne anyways, then it kind of works out. Okay, so all the credits we covered in the first half are what I'd consider break-even ones. For most people, some or all of these credits are going to help you either break even, get past break even, or at least somewhat near it. So the Platinum card has a $6.95 annual fee, but with the Uber, digital entertainment, airline fee, hotel, and Saks, you have up to $9.40 in credits. Even if you discount this number by, let's say, 20%, so you value it at 80 cents on the dollar, that's still $7.52 in value. It's still definitely not for everyone, but it does help it become a lot more affordable compared to what it was. So back in the day, and for a very long time, it was a $4.50 annual fee, but all you had to really help you was the up to $200 airline incidental fee credit. For a lot of people, the current iteration is cheaper on a net basis. With that said, let's move into some of the more controversial credits, and let's start with Clear Plus. So this is one I like, but one you might not always use depending on what lines look like. So the credit covers Clear, and it's generally pretty useful when the airport's busy. Reminder that Clear and TSA Precheck are different things, but they kind of work hand in hand if you know what you're doing. So the idea of Clear is that you skip the first line, the dotted line, lining up to talk to the person for them to look at your face and your ID. You still do need to go through physical screening, and depending on if you have Precheck or not, you'll go into the respective line. If the TSA lines are super long, then this is awesome. It could easily turn 30 minutes or 40 minutes into 5. Especially during holidays, it's a nice way to save a bunch of time and to maybe actually enjoy the lounge. If there's no line though, so if you're flying early in the morning or something, then I wouldn't bother with Clear. So you can kind of think of Clear as something that always takes about 3 minutes, but if the line's not 3 minutes, then not worth it. Yeah, either way I'd sign up just to have the optionality. Number 11, if you work out at Equinox, then swap your Platinum card in as the main payment method. So that side's pretty straightforward, but if you don't have an Equinox membership and you're not paying their crazy rates, then it might make sense to sign up for the app. Equinox Plus are going to be guided workouts, and it's still pretty useful. And if you have the Platinum card, you do have that $300 annual subscription that is covered. If you already have a workout routine in place, then it probably doesn't make sense, but nice to have the option, especially for traveling. So for example, for myself, I mostly do berries. If I'm at home, if I'm in LA or New York or something, that's fine. But for a lot of other places, even if there are nice gyms, I just don't really work out as hard. So having an app that kind of forces me to do it is a nice change of pace. Your mileage may vary if it's useful, but it's an option. Another one I consider signing up for is Walmart Plus. So the Platinum card pretty much covers that membership. Personally, I don't really use Walmart Plus, so I can't speak to it too much, and I kind of value it close to zero. But for people that do use it, I've heard good things, especially if you do pickup, and that kind of works out. I get why a lot of people don't like the fact that they can't use all the credits, but for me, as long as I get value and it's covering my lounges, then it works out. Number 13 is to consider adding authorized users. There's 2 different levels here. First one is the additional Platinum card, and number 2 is the companion Platinum card. The additional Platinum card is $195 per card, and if you add 2 people, almost $400, and then there's no fee for the companion one. The perks are dramatically different though, and it depends on what you're looking for. Both of them are going to get you global entry or TSA Precheck credits, and also access to Resi. You're going to need the additional Platinum card, the one with the fee, for lounge access, Bonvoy Gold, Hilton Gold, and for FHR. Note that the additional Platinum, so the one with the fee, does not get you the Uber credits or the Saks or all the other ones. If you have a family though, the Companion Platinum makes a lot of sense given that it's no fee, and it's a great way to pretty much get everyone global entry or TSA Precheck. Number 14, sign up for global entry or TSA Precheck. If you have a lot of other cards, you probably have this covered, but otherwise, nice to have. Note that it's not an annual credit because memberships are not annual. And of these, you pick one of the two. Precheck is more domestic focused, while global entry is more international, but global entry does come with Precheck as part of it. So if you do qualify, then you might as well get global entry because you're getting both. Number 15, enroll in ShopRunner. You don't need the Platinum card for this, and you might already have this from your other Amex cards. Yeah, otherwise doesn't hurt, and you might as well sign up. You get faster and free shipping and also returns. There are a bunch of big brands, but it depends on where you shop and how you buy stuff. So for me, I feel like I don't really make use of ShopRunner, but it depends on you. Number 16, potentially use the Platinum card to start paying for your phone bill. This one depends on you and the phone you have and your other warranties and protections. The Platinum card covers $800 per claim for repairs and replacement, including cracked screens. There is a $50 deductible, and you are limited to 2 claims per 12-month period, and there are other eligibility and exclusions. If you have a top-of-the-line Samsung or iPhone or something, then it probably doesn't make sense, main reason being that it might not cover the phone, and you're probably better off with Samsung or Apple Care. Also note that a lot of carriers do have auto-pay discounts when you are paying directly with your bank account, so that might also be a factor. Yeah, it really depends on you and how you think of it, and might be worth considering. Last one, number 17, is Amex Offers. I didn't realize this, but a lot of otherwise really smart people thought this was spam and didn't realize it existed. So there are some iffy ones, but there's a lot of legitimate brands. This can range from Burberry to Jimmy Choo to Calvin Klein and Ministry of Supply. In fact, this is where I get my black V-necks from because I've gone through a lot of different ones, and these were the most comfortable ones I could find. Pretty much have 15 of these. If you travel, it obviously switches, but you'll see brands like Waldorf Astoria, Conrad, and LXR, which are the top-end brands of Hilton. Also Virgin Atlantic and French Bee. You might not have heard of some, but that doesn't mean that they're bad brands. So for example, French Bee is a great pick if you're flying from SFO to Bora Bora and paying out of pocket, and you might as well get something back there. The point of Amex Offers, and I'd say all the credits, is to find a way to incorporate it into your life. For example, we're already going to the West End, but we don't have flights booked, so this would be a good solution. Or you're bringing your wife to Tahiti anyways to go to St. Regis, you might as well consider this. And the best way to think of this is like a lion. You don't have to go after every prey, you're going after the ones that make sense, that are worth your energy, and you get net value from. Again, if you want to learn about cards, we have links on the website, asksebi.com, and down below in the description box. Especially for the Platinum card, given the 150k targeting, I would definitely check Card Match. We have a blog post walking through this if you Google Card Match Ask Sebi, and I'll also link it down below. If you made it to this point, leave a lion emoji in the comments down below, and I'll try to heart it and also respond. 3 questions. Number 1, what are your thoughts on the Platinum card? Number 2, what's your favorite benefit or feature? And number 3, which credits do you use and how? Let me know and everyone else know in the comments down below. Big favor, thumbs up, consider subscribing, but otherwise hope you liked it. See you next time.